Hey, Thunderdome. Oh my God, we're back again. It's already been a week. I wish we could do these more. But here we are, 6 days after we did our previous episode. We're back on early because one of us wants to go chase ass up and down the California seaboard. And so we're back 6 days, 1 day early, which is fine because I do start jonesing to do this show. Welcome in here, everybody. It is yet another edition of Thunderdome live on our beautiful, wonderful YouTube channel we have here. LoveYouHardTV.com is the website. You can check out any and all things Mike fucking Taylor. Yes, we can say fuck on these things, which I'm still getting used to, and I don't want to start gratuitously cursing, but boy, now that I feel loose with it, saying fuck is fun. Anyway, we've got a website called Love You Hard TV, and you can link to anything we do. You can buy t-shirts and V-necks and coffee cups and stuff with our logo on there. We have the Fiesta logo we got rolling right now, and if you go on there and buy thousands of these things, then maybe in the future we'll produce more. It costs money to make this stuff, so if you buy our stuff on our merch page on LoveYouHardTV.com, we can put forth even more cool stuff for you in the future. Show slogans, Puma's face, DJ LG's wiener, anything you need put on there on a t-shirt we can do for you, but you need to prove that you're going to buy this stuff by jumping on and buying it now and choosing the designs that we have. And you can also link to all of our stuff, websites, radio show, TV show. Everything I do is all up there on Love You Hard TV. News items galore. So welcome in here as I emanate from the hellscape, a.k.a. the island of Oahu. I live in Hawaii most of the time. I consider myself to be a redneck Mexican Tex-Hawaiian. I am a Texan who's been displaced because of divorce and children. But if you're going to be stuck somewhere, being stuck on the island of Oahu in the great South Pacific in the beautiful state of Hawaii, not a terrible, shitty place to be stuck, and here we are. And back home in our mothership central studios of should we call it KDJLG Studios? K Lawrence, KLG?
I mean, the Love You Hard home studio sounds good to me.
Okay, I like that. See, that's why you're the producer and a marketer, and I'm just the ADHD talk show host.
Yeah, we got to brand. We need to brand your name and the Love You Hard brand. So
okay, cool.
I'm not
Back
trying
at
to
our
brand
Love
DJ
You Hard
LG
Studios.
yet.
Never mind. I'm not even going to say anymore where the Love You Hard Studios are. I'm just going to say back at the Love You Hard Studios. I pride myself, Lawrence, on pulling back or not having a curtain. Really, on this show, hell, we really don't have to have much of a curtain. Some stuff, yeah, but I want to. It's like I have this need to tell everybody everything. But we probably shouldn't give away our locations, right? Do you give a shit about that? Should we give away locations? We're supposed to keep this thing global.
Yeah, LG, do you want your
I don't want my
numerical address?
What's your
I don't want my
address?
address given out, but we can say like we're broadcasting from San Antonio, Texas.
All right, cool. From South Central Texas, from the Love You Hard television studios, the mother chip, it is DJ LG. He is the handsome Filipino, Kabalanasian, is an Indonesian, American guy. And then there's that redneck boy with that 42-year-old baseball cap on, all kinds of distracted by basketball. It is the fake Jake the Snake Roberts. It is the biggest Puma. It is Sam Freese. How are you boys doing? Let's do the dick around here as we await our guest and get into tonight's.
Our guest is actually awaiting you in the green room right now.
Oh, is he in the green room? Well, then make his ass wait. I'll get to him in a minute. So tell us why we're not, obviously, for those watching this in real time, we're a little bit earlier than last week. Not that once we get this recorded, no one gives a damn when we record it. Where are you going this week? Because this could provide some content for next week's show.
I am
Tell these
headed
people
to
where you're going.
I am headed to a whale's vagina, a.k.a. San Diego.
Very good. All right. You're hoping to get in some vagina. Is that why you're going this week?
Actually, I mean, that's always a hope, but it's one of my good friends. It's his birthday tomorrow. And I needed to get away. Just had a dog die last week.
Indeed.
And he said he'd go with me. And so a bunch of us are meeting out in Ocean Beach, San Diego. We rented a beach house right on the beach.
Oh, my God.
We're just going to hang out and eat fish tacos and maybe some pizza.
and maybe some fish.
Yeah.
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 Do
Maybe.
you enjoy eating fish?
I love fish.
Me too. I do,
Yeah.
and I do that like a champion.
Yeah.
I know I'm a bit braggadocious, but when I brag about my ability to eat fish, I really, really mean it. I'm good at it.
I've been told
When
I'm
you're
pretty
5'9"
good myself. Yeah.
and only semi-half-ass decent looking, you got to do what you got to do to perform.
Yeah.
Puma, are you going to bring anything at all tonight? I'm worried about
Yeah,
your.
no. I'm locked in. Yeah, I'm fully
Are you?
engaged. Yeah,
Okay,
I like to
very
eat
good.
fish too. Yeah, I enjoy seafood. Mm-hmm.
I do too. All sorts. It doesn't matter what kind either. All right. So this week we thought we'd bring in a dude. I was going to have him on last week, but a really, really beautiful young TikTok star bumped him. And so he was kind enough to wait a week. This will be kind of cool to have all three of you boys in the room here because you've all three at one point worked with me on the radio show that I do. And now here we are coming together on the miracle of the internet's doing it like this with Love You Hard TV. This is the original board op of my radio show, who wound up being the producer. Back when we actually spent money, he wound up just being the producer of the show, and we had Dingus, another guy, run our board. And Puma doesn't believe that there was ever a time where I had multiple people helping me do the radio show, but alas, we did back in the day.
Yeah, show me the business cards. Show me the pay stubs. I don't believe it happened.
Yeah, well, and they didn't get paid worth the shit, that's for sure. As per usual, they just found guys who would work cheap. And anyway, so our guest tonight, and I told him, well, let's just get him in here. On with us tonight is a guy whose career he absolutely owes to me. I put him on the map, and I would have figured that he was way, way out of this business by now, years ago. I wasn't sure about your future when you got terminated. Remember that time you got fired, Jim Bob, from the ticket? Remember that?
I do. One of the happiest days of my life.
It turned out to
worst
be.
Days.
Eh.
It turned out well.
Oh, it did. It did. All right. So the Bear is on with us tonight. And for those that don't know this dude here, he was my original producer on the radio show that I got in San Antonio in 2007 for what was then Clear Channel, which has become iHeartRadio. And the Bear was with me for a few years. And what was it, 2010, 2011? What year was it when that happened? 2011.
2010, because it was 6 months after I got married that they dropped the axe.
Oh,
and I
right
think
Christmas.
if I remember correctly, they wanted to do it earlier in the year, but I guess they felt bad about doing it right before my wedding, so they let me live until right before Christmas. So don't ever say Clear Channel doesn't have a heart.
They do. That's why they switched their name to iHeartRadio. We don't fire you before you get married. We wait till Christmas after you've been married.
They didn't change their name to iHeart Jim Bob, that's for sure.
That's for sure. And the Bear has now taken over basically all of the Mexican markets in far South Texas at one point or the other. Now, he was an assistant news director down in the valley of far South Texas. Now he is toiling his news directing prowess, his talents on the Gulf Coast of the great state of Texas. He's running television stations in Corpus Christi, which means Body of Christ, Texas. Tell me the stations again.
It's KRIS.
I'm going to write them down NBC. This time.
Yeah. KRIS, which is NBC. Okay. KZTV, which is CBS.
Confusing.
KAJA, which is Telemundo, which because it's KAJA and it's Telemundo, it's called Caja because the J is an H.
Orale.
And then we have a CW affiliate and an independent station that we run Los Spurs on called KDF. Nice.
Okay, God almighty. So some of these just kind of run themselves. The engineers run them. You don't.
Yeah, like the independent station kind of takes care of itself. The CW station is pretty maintenance free. The other stations we actually do produce news on, so that's what I'm in charge of.
Okay, so the Bear went from lowly board op with me, wearing flip-flops to the station every day with his Tony Romo hat on backwards, and even underwent major reconstructive face surgery at one point because he didn't even look the same as he does now. And look at him now running TV stations as a news director. You were the assistant before. Now you're like El Jefe and shit.
Yeah,
How's that
I
going?
have. It's weird because they just gave me my budget, which is multi-millions of dollars, and I'm in charge of it. And that's a problem for me because I am not okay with that.
You have help?
Yeah, I have help, but like I've got the credit card with the company name on it.
Ooh,
that's dangerous.
Ooh. Dude.
It's a whole lot of Whataburger.
I was going to say, how many meals have you, how many times so far has it been like, it's $6, though it'll be fine?
No, none. I put it in the back of the wallet. It's basically the condom in my wallet from 8th grade that never got used. That's what.
Okay. That's you let that thing wear out and create an indention in your wallet. Don't ever take it out from its spot unless you absolutely have to.
You think if you had told Peter Bolger in 2010 that I would one day be in charge of a multi-million-dollar news budget, he would have believed you?
He could watch this tonight. That's our old news director. That's our old program director. He's going to watch this tonight and still not believe it. He's still going to think you're lying your ass off.
I hope he does watch it because I've come to realize the error. I've come to realize that I can see why he did not want me under his employ as a 24-year-old douchebag.
Okay.
I can kind of see it. I'm just saying, I'm as learning to manage people, I could see how I was the guy that wasn't listening to him. I was listening to the cool dad, you, which was don't do anything the PD says.
That's not true.
That is absolutely true.
Wait a minute. I never told you not to do what he says.
Hey, they told me to dial back on you a little bit, but I don't care. Just keep talking. That was multiple times.
Okay. Oh, that's true.
And I support you for it. I love you for it. I love you for it because I'd rather get fired being cool than keep my job making no dollars per hour schlepping the corporate dong.
Right. Look at time out right there. So when I told DJLG you were coming on, he was like, okay, as he turned into a big stiff, are we going to get some corporate D-bag? Now, you went from cool D-bag, college frat douche to corporate douche, which is a whole different kind of douche. He was worried you wouldn't come on here and work blue like you normally would. And I said, no, he'll handle it. He's fine. He's the boss now. He can do what he wants. He'll be okay.
I still am somewhat of I'm pretty washed, I got to admit.
Well, you got a family.
At 38 years old, I've decided, you know what? As much as I want to make this joke, probably shouldn't.
Understood. No, you have to be that way. I get it. And if I were in your role, I would be the same. I've just never, thank God, I've never had to grow up, and I've been able to keep doing this all these years. True or false? Did you think I'd be doing this? And now with a freaking YouTube show on the 1st of February when we record this in 2022. What'd you think? Where'd you think I'd be in 2022? 10 years
no,
ago?
I always thought you'd be doing radio. I don't know about San Antonio.
Okay.
I figured when you moved to Green Bay, that was the beginning of the end of your San Antonio radio days. I was like, there's no way they're going to let this guy keep doing this from Hoth.
Right.
Not be down here. But hell, you made it work.
Well, we're only there for 90 days, thank God. I had a vagabond with me at the time, and we moved quickly, so it worked out fine. All right.
I still think you hold the record for most moves by a non-military Texan.
No question. I would bet money against anybody. I think we move more than the average military guy.
That's what I'm saying.
I just got a condo, right? And I'm living in it alone, and I'm not going to move from it for at least a year, if not 20, because I need to be static for the first time ever. I've had this condo I just moved in is the 18th address I've had in 10 years. 18. I'm not bullshitting.
I was about to say I have a subscription to this thing called Spokio. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Basically, it's this thing online where you can just look up anybody and find out a lot of their personal info. It's kind of scary.
Oh God!
But if I have the ability, I will look you up, and it has a map, and it basically shows a line of every move you've made. Oh, so every time every time you register, so for you're going to look like one of those Southwest Airlines destination maps just
No
everywhere.
shit, dude.
You're going to look like a home run derby spray chart.
Please look me up and send it to me. I need to see that. I'm going to hang it on my wall to remind myself of what I used to be and why I've now changed and how I've changed for the better. I need some
I don't think
rules.
you've changed, and that's fine. Don't ever change. Just always keep moving.
No, I'm not. At some point, I need to get back home for good and stay there, and I will. It's just a matter of when and how I go about that process. It may take me a little while, but I'm going to stop moving at some point. At some point, I don't ever want to stop traveling, obviously, but I need to get home and stay home.
How many Mike Taylors do you think there are in Hawaii? That might be half, because there's 240 in San Antonio. That's gonna be hard to look you up.
Wait, there's 240 me in San Antonio alone?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I bet there's
a lot.
There's probably a lot of military guys here named Mike Taylor, I would think. There are no Hawaiians named Mike Taylor. Less than 240. You looking it up now? There's less than 240.
If I find it, I'll share my screen.
Right. By the way, did you hear the little grito?
I did.
Yeah, that means somebody put money in our cup of coffee. We have a cup of coffee.
Right.
Yeah. We got a pretty cool little
There are 107 Michael Taylors in Honolulu alone.
I don't believe that. This doesn't make bullshit. I don't believe that.
You in Hialewa? How do you say your name?
No, Haleiwa. Wait, there's a Mike Taylor in Haleiwa. That's a small ass little town.
It's only you. It's only one. Is that you?
Hell, it may be me.
No, it's a Michael Bruce Taylor, age 71.
Oh me. Holy shit. Okay. Well, it's a common name, but I would have guessed maybe 20 in the entire state. You're telling me there's over 100 on my island. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. All right. So buy us a cup of coffee, by the way. I was going to say, buy us a cup of coffee, which means a $3 donation, not you, but Thunderdomers that jump in here. We love you. We'll take all that money and put it back into buying merch. And we're not making any money on this bit. We're just using it to buy stuff so we don't have any overhead. And we beg of you to subscribe to this channel. I beg of you to subscribe to this channel because once we get over 1,000, we can start making even more money on stuff and put more money back into production. All right, needed to get that in. All right, they don't want to hear all this mundane bullshit anymore. If you find my flight chart, fine, send it to me. They want to know, and especially now that I've gone through another transition phase, which I know you're not shocked at all, they want to know stories, maybe some stuff we've not shared, or maybe the NC-17 version of some stories we've shared before that we just could not share at all or elaborate. And now that I don't give a shit because I'm single and stuff. Not that I was like Bill Clinton chasing every piece of tail in town. I'm chasing a few, but not all of them. That's what they want from you. Now we caught up with you. You've turned into news director, corporate hack guy, middle management guy. Now they want to talk about our old days. What do you got?
The time you got pulled out of the strip club drunk, which I think you've told that story, so that probably isn't shocking to anybody.
Time out. I've not given the whole story. I don't know what happened. Were
you
there when you were there? Were you there when I stood up and pointed at all these people I wanted to fuck?
Was not there for that.
Same night. That was the same night, and
I think I left
passed out. All right. Well, I'm glad you brought this up. Think of something else. I'm gonna give this story. Well, Dingus says I did this, and I've had it corroborated by one other person. So I think at some point I stood up at some point because I was intrigued by the girl that was dancing at the time that had an Adam's apple. And apparently I went all the way up to her and pointed right at her throat. And I go, "That's a fucking Adam's apple." And that was the first red flag to the management of the club that maybe he should get out of here. And then I turned around and I think I said at one point, "I'm going to fuck the stripper with the Adam's apple, or I'm going to fuck her, or I'm going to fuck that waitress, or I'm going to fuck that dude and his wife." That's what they say I said. I don't really remember that. Then I think I passed out on the chair in the middle of the club with all that banging music going on, and that's when they had to wheel my ass out of there. That's the part I've never been able to share on the radio show, that part.
Yeah, that they had to take you out through the Tony and Eva Parker entrance.
Okay, that's alleged, Tony and Eva Parker. Let's not throw Tony under the
Sorry,
bus. But
I'm sorry. I forgot that I'm a respected newsman now. Reportedly, the entrance used by Tony and Eva Parker.
well, that's there was a rumor going on, yes, and that's basically through the kitchen. And I was
Oh
doing
my
fine. Look at
God.
that! Holy shit! Look how fat I was.
Wow.
Good Lord, look at that! Good God, look at whoa! You still have that amazing hairline, by the way, that goes all the way down to your eyebrows almost.
My face looks still swollen from the surgery.
This was not long after that. Look at
This
that.
was like
Good
August,
God.
right? This is like 6 weeks post surgery. I probably still was slurring my words.
Yeah, you probably were. You all you could do. You look like a biker kid right there.
Can we talk
Golly, you look
about?
like-
Can we talk about the people who put on our?
Hang on.
Was this at the Cowboys game?
Yes, that's
Was-
right
was
after a
this-
game. That's Jerry World. I think that's the first. That's the first game we ever went to when they played the Titans. The first preseason game ever. That's the
That's
first
when
game
there's-
ever at that stadium.
Afterward, we figured out that there's probably a 93% chance that there was cocaine on the ticket bus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we went up there in a charter one time, and this game here. Sorry, all I was going to say about the strip club was, yeah, I went through the kitchen and I puked all over the place. I've heard that. I've told that story before. But this is a trip we took. There's no way the guy's alive. The guy that owned some guy had some racket ass company where he would rent a charter bus and charge people probably 5 times over what he should be charging to make a shit ton of money. And he would charter all these people from San Antonio up to Arlington to Jerry World to go to Cowboys games. And Jim Bob and I went on a couple of these trips. I went on 3 or 4 of these. It was a blast. People had a good time, but no question, people were doing blow off the seats, blow jobs back in the back, on the bus, on the way up there. It was very Rolling Stones scene and very us. There's something about our show in those days, and probably still now, I think you would agree, where listeners just felt like, it's Taylor. I'm going to give my husband a blowjob on the bus because it's just Taylor, right? That's the
Yes.
shit we invite. Yeah.
Yeah, you were basically Howard Stern, and your life was 100 miles per hour, and anybody who got
God.
pulled into the vicinity had to go 100 or keep up, or just get left behind.
Right. There's no doubt about that, for sure. Man, golly, it is that bad. What you just said's accurate. It really is. It really was that way.
I don't know. I think there may have been one other trip, or there was supposed to be another trip, and it didn't work out. And I'm going to guess the cocaine played a role in that.
I didn't do cocaine. People I was hanging out with did. I want that
I'm
out
talking
now.
about the company that ran the whole thing.
Yeah, they were all coked out of their minds. All of them, even the son. Yeah, he was like 14.
That was shady.
Oh, look at that. That's pre-surgery there. That's us walking up to while they were making Jerry World right there.
Oh, yeah. God, I don't even remember that we went there for that.
We were probably covering a Valley Ranch training camp practice in the preseason.
Yeah, I think we were. And if I remember correctly, this was when you were – the highlight of our trip was getting Pac-Man Jones to record a liner.
Look at your
God,
face.
who is that?
You look like the kid from Stranger Things.
I do. Look like the kid with the mouth disorder.
Yeah. This is why you had to have the surgery. Jim Bob had some sort of jaw thing where he had to have his jaw broken and moved into the normal human place because it was not normal before. Look at you. What a jackass. Look at me. I am so fucking hungover right here. Golly. God.
I think this was also the trip where we were offered to go party with people.
Wait, what shirt am I wearing? Okay, take it back. This was a race car trip we went on.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did
that
you
was
go
the
on this
TMS.
trip?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We got invited to party with people. What are you talking? You need to be
Dude,
more
we went-
specific because that means a lot of things to me.
We went back, and it was one of your old homeboys who basically, if he were to bring you back to the party, he would be celebrated because you're the prodigal son.
Right.
The same guy who once threw somebody in a sack full of rattlesnakes.
He did do that, yes, as punishment to a dude who owed money. God, I forgot about this story. I have a guy from my old neighborhood, and their bit to scare people into giving them money because they were bookies. That was part of their hustle. He had a lot of hustles. Part of the bit was they would fill a big fucking giant trash bag full of rattlesnakes and throw you in the bag with the snakes and tie the bag until you paid the money or until you agreed, okay, let's go to the ATM right now. I got money. Yeah. That guy, is that the guy that told you that he worked for the city of Arlington?
Yep.
That's the guy. Yeah, that was his.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his bit. I work for the city of Arlington. Yeah, same
With
dude.
the teardrop tattoo.
Correct. That's where I think I declared that night, and y'all wouldn't let me go because he wanted to take me back to some house so he could show me off. Hey, look, Mijo's back in town. I brought him back to the house, and there was like 2 girls there that promised that they would blow me if I showed up just to thank me or whatever.
Yeah.
This is the same story, same night, right?
Yes.
Right. Is this all ringing a bell? Okay.
We stayed in a hotel that JFK stayed in the night before he was killed.
Correct. And I chose that hotel on purpose because of that.
And Aggie Mark was there. And I think that's the only reason that we didn't end up there was because both Aggie Mark and I were like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah. And I was going to go for sure. And I think I said, I was drunk. So I said, I'm going to go get oh God, what did I say? I didn't say blowjob. I said something else, but oh God, it doesn't matter. But golly. And I remember on the way home from that trip, you had to drive my car while I laid down in the back the entire time because I couldn't sit up in the car without vomiting.
I'm not sure how. There's some spots where I'm not sure what happened in between, but I do remember we all ended up at a Whataburger at like 2:30 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning after not going to that party.
Correct. Because I said, look, if I'm not, that's what I said. And you guys need to let me go to that party because I'm going to get my suck cocked. That's what I said. I said, I'm going to get my suck cocked. I didn't mean to say it that way, but my drunk brain said it. I'm going to go get my suck cocked. Y'all wouldn't let me. And I said, well, fine, take my ass to Whataburger then. And I almost got into about 3 fights in the parking lot at Whataburger because every gang member in town was there because it was the only Whataburger that was 24 hours. All still the same trip. Holy shit.
What the hell are we wearing in this video?
I don't know.
I'm wearing like
I'm a substitute teacher or something.
Yeah, how little I was paid. I am willingly wearing a Right Brand bacon T-shirt that was given to us as part of the promotion because I couldn't afford clothes.
My Sam Freeze Puma right now, he's probably distracted by fucking basketball. He's living your life now that you lived then, where you had to. He's wearing you see that Puma, a Wright Brothers bacon T-shirt, because all the Bear shirts were hand-me-downs because he couldn't afford to buy one.
No, I already knew that was the case as soon as I saw the shirt in that video. There was no question.
I once drove my ass to a Canyon Lake Super S on a Saturday morning. I had to get up at like 5 a.m. to drive there for a remote for Right Brand bacon because no one else would do it. I don't even think I got paid for it. It may have been Taylor.
But you got a shirt. You got a good looking T-shirt.
Blackout drunk and couldn't do the remote, and so my ass drove to Canyon Lake, where all these old people are trying to get their Saturday morning groceries, and I'm over there yucking it up to sell some bacon.
But it was a damn good looking shirt.
It fit very well.
We were at the men's club. I couldn't go to that remote because I was at the men's club the previous night, which was also a paid gig. And that was the night where the Greek guy that owned it, I just want to point out that he was Greek. For some reason, he was Greek. He sent me up in the corner with one of the waitresses, and basically she was told to service me. She tried to take one of my fingers and put it in her anus. That's what she tried to get me to do.
Oh my God. Whoa.
And I did it.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
I mean, I did it.
We all could have ended that sentence for you.
I did do that. Yeah, I did. That was tough times, man. So did you respect me in those days? Or were you just like, were you worried at some point? I mean, you figured I'd probably get fired for sure.
Oh, no. I was I wasn't constantly worried. It wasn't till, I think the end, there was a lot of drama a lot of drama at the end of your first marriage and in the
Yeah.
subsequent months that followed.
Yeah.
That I would just get tangled up in, and my wife was just, I'm tired of hearing about all this. Stop bringing it home. Because I'm like, I can't tell anybody else. I can't talk about it on the radio. You're the
I
only
know.
person I can talk to about all this craziness. And then your first ex-wife decided that Joanna was part of the problem too, and she and I were both evil. And I think she wished that the lightning bolt at the wolf had actually killed us.
Oh,
Something
for sure.
like that.
If my ex-wife, my first ex-wife, could go back in time and have me killed by that lightning strike at the baseball game, she would pull that lever. Even if it meant that you died too collaterally, she would do that because it would mean that I was dead. Yeah.
I feel like there was a phone call shortly after the lightning strike. We were still at the Wolf before the game where she just was randomly going off on you for nothing, for some reason. And
God
that
knows
came
why.
out like, I wish you had just died.
Correct. For sure. She was upset in those days, and I don't blame her looking back on that now. We have a mutual friend, JB and I have. We call him Hef. You know who Hef is. He tells the story of, I guess, for whatever reason, he was with me one morning, and I had to go to. I had already moved out. I was living with your parents. I was over at Buffet Bob's house. We called Jim Bob's dad Buffet Bob because in the 70s, when he was a television news anchor, he ate at the strip club buffets in Corpus Christi, I think it were, or maybe San Antonio every day.
Not just the 70s. When he was news director at KKYX Radio in San Antonio, he was hitting up All-Stars every day.
Every day. The buffet was cheap, so they called him Buffet Bob. Anyway, so I was staying at Buffet Bob's. I took Hef with me, maybe because I was afraid of her, and I thought if she kills me, Hef needs to be here to witness this so he can testify on my behalf. We get there. I call her. I said, hey, we're out front. I just need to get a couple of things. She comes storming out of the house. And poor Hef gets out, and he's like, hey, he's just trying to be peacemaker. And she gets in Hef's face, our buddy. And it was early in the morning, so she was in her nightie. And while she was yelling at Hef, her right tit flopped out. And poor Hef had to see that. You can imagine her just screaming at Hef, you get him out of here, he's a piece of shit, with one tit just going boing, 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 boing. And she took her 10 seconds to notice it. She just slips it back in and kept on going without missing a beat. It was amazing. Hef tells that story. God, we made me look like a big old jackass tonight, didn't we? I mean,
there was
golly. I mean, well, I want to have fun. I don't want to hurt people.
Even back then, Hef and I would joke about one day when they do the VH1 behind the music of the Mike Taylor show, that's going to be one of the stories that it opens with.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. It's my first look. I don't know. I was under a lot of pressure, man. It was hard being me in those days. You know, I signed a 1-year deal when I got that job. 1 year. I signed a 6-month lease. I had a 6-month lease on that apartment. Because I thought, well, I'm going to get fired. I don't want to wait till the year's up. I might as well just take a 6-month lease because in 6 months, I'll have a read on whether or not maybe I'm going to make it or not. I didn't know. So I took a 6-month lease out with a 1-year contract. It was insane. And when the show took off, I had trouble handling it. That's what happened. I'm not making excuses. I did a lot of stupid shit, a whole lot of stupid shit. I did a lot of fun stuff that I don't take back and I don't regret. Now, I did do some stupid shit and that I would like to take back. When the show took off and the town embraced us, I guess maybe I let it get to my head some. You know, I didn't really have a 20s, man. I didn't get it. I got married at 20 years old. I was way too young to be married. I never got to have any fun time. And all of a sudden now the show takes off. I know it's very shallow and debaggy. And half the women in that city that do want to go out with me only want to go out with me because of what I do for a living. But fuck it, I took advantage of it for a little while and made a shit ton of mistakes, and I regret most of them. But boy, it was a hell of a lot of fun in the moment, and it was way too stressful. I had to chill because I would have wound up in rehab or dead for sure because it was too much. Too much.
Well, and every time we did a remote, it was kind of this, all right, what's either he's going to get drunk or someone's going home with him or both. Like it's weird too because like people like pulling back the curtain in radio a little bit
Yeah.
was well, first of all, when we're at a remote and you're on when they turn your button on, it doesn't come off until like you are always on. Like the show is you are the show. Your life is the show. So
Right.
when we start when we're on, boy, you are on and you don't ever turn it off. But like there was when you pull back the curtain and people don't understand how radio works, like part of people's salary, and I don't know if it's still this way, but it used to be like you're guaranteed X amount of money, but part of that money is based on live appearances, spot reads, like you're guaranteed an X amount per year. And so when every time we do a live remote or a live show at say Freetail, like that's part of your salary. And so even if you wanted to say, hey, I should probably pull back a little bit because I'm getting a little reckless, like you really couldn't because that's your money. It's like this little circle. I didn't have
to. Well, see, I could have, after remotes, though, I could have said thanks a lot, gone to my car and driven home. That was my choice. I was no longer getting paid at that point. I just chose not to all the time. Right. And then doing Spurs post-game show after all the Spurs games meant that I was always out every night, or at least 41 nights a year, plus all the playoff games, which were 10, 15 more home games. Here I am out, and it's like, well, I've been out all day, and everybody's like, oh, what a great playoff game. That was awesome. Where are we going? Oh, fuck it. We're going here. We're going there. And it always turned into 4 or 5 a.m.,
Yeah.
Showing up
well, especially when Dallas was in town because you knew everybody.
Ooh, we had some, oh, God, yeah. When Dallas was in town in those days, I knew all my Mavs reporter buddies and stuff would be in town. And what did they want to do? They wanted to party. And they wanted me to take them where all the parties were and have a good time. And that Dallas media that you got a chance to hang out with some in those days. Yeah.
Boy. Well, and
I mellowed a lot.
They were smart. They would strategically go wherever Cubes was for the first stop because he would buy some drinks.
He paid it. Yeah, he paid for everything.
He just throw his black card down and pay for everybody's drinks for a while, and that was how everybody started the night. And if Cubes is starting your night off, then it's pretty easy to keep going.
Right. Yeah. I think Mark bought you a few drinks along the way, I think, there for a couple of times.
At Coyote Ugly.
That's right. He loved Coyote Ugly of all the local places. He always wanted. We started off at Coyote Ugly because we knew that Cuban would show up and buy everybody everything. Yeah. And then we wind up going somewhere else that was cooler. But he was obsessed with that place.
God, I can't remember the name of the bar, but it's kind of over there by where Howl at the Moon is. And that's where Barkley would always go. Like the TNT dudes would sit in there. It's like a real dark bar, not very big, pretty small.
It's a martini bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sip. It's called Sip. Barkley always went to Sip. I want to say it's called Sip. Fuck, I don't know. But yeah, Barkley always went there. And he'd buy around whenever TNT was in town and stuff. God, those were some amazing times. Why wouldn't I have partied? It was fun. It was fun.
It was fun. And then you
got married and you stopped coming.
But here's the thing, like I was single at the time, and even then I was like, I don't know if I can hang with these people.
It was bad. I'm way mellower now. I still do stupid shit on occasion because I choose to. I'm just more timely about when I do it and who I do it with, So now I'm in a whole new transition phase. So golly, it really is a miracle that I don't know. Like you said, in some ways I'm getting paid to be this character that people think that I am, which I am that, it's weird because am I the same guy on the Soho? Thank you, Alec. It was called Soho. That's where Barkley always went. This gets in. Now we're getting too deep in here. I know I've had you on for 40 minutes already.
Oh, you're fine.
How much of the real me and the radio me are the same me? I think for the most part, I never wanted to be fake on the air. I was partying my ass off before I got radio shows, right? And so I guess it just went a little bit too full throttle once I got the gig, and then once it took off and stuff, and that was me. I wasn't doing a bit. I wasn't creating a new character. Swig. Fucking A. Thank you. Yes, Swig. That's it.
Swig.
Swig. God
There
damn
we
it. What the
go.
hell? Oh, Soho's a different martini bar across the way. Swig is where Barkley always went.
Yeah.
Near McDonald's. Yeah. Soho was down the block there anyway. I don't know. Like you said, you're basically being paid to be you, and me was I like to party and have a good time. And oh, by the way, they're going to pay me to talk sports and have a radio show. And so I guess they hired the right guy. So
No,
that's
yeah,
what
I
we
would
got.
say like there's very little difference between you on the air in that time, even and you off the air, but that's part of the success, right? Because if you could have done generic fake D-bag radio, let's talk box scores and let's take the phones. What do you think, Joe Blow from the South Side?
Mhm.
And like you could have done that. And there are people in San Antonio that are on year 27 of a grand career doing exactly that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think what makes your show different is the fact that you are not different on the air than off.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I'm
thanks,
telling you
man.
right now, I would be terrible as your producer because I would be terrified of losing my income and my security and getting divorced and losing my family. I would be an awful producer right now.
The other day he tweeted out a video while he was driving, and immediately I was like, "Hey, yo, pull the fuck over, man! Like, pull over! Don't get on any motorcycles or anything like that. Just pull over."
I would be lying if I say that if you had asked me in 2010 when I left the station over under on a very tragic, untimely death of Mike Taylor in the next 10 years, I would have taken that. I would have taken pretty good odds for that.
Dude, recently I've been called a narcissist with a profound inability to truly care for anyone but myself.
That sounds like something a therapist told you.
No, it was a lady. I was told that by a lady.
Okay.
And I don't want to think that. I think I'm highly confident. I think I probably am a bit arrogant, but I mean, I know my limitations. I'm 5'9". I've got yellow teeth. I've got swollen areola. I've got a head that's disproportionately big to the rest of my body. I don't know. I got kind of a big dick. That's probably where I get some of my confidence, I guess. It's weird. My body's weird. And I was raised by wolves, so this is just kind of how it went. I mean, I pride myself on being a dad. I pride myself on, being a taxpayer. But this is kind of who I am. Thank God it went this way, because I don't know what else I would have done for a living. I had to make it work in radio. I've always thought that I could have done television, but that's a whole different persona. But I always thought, if I don't make it in radio, I'm going to live in poverty. It's either I use my personality and I use my background and kind of my crazy ass demeanor to do this, or I'm going to wind up, I won't have a job that pays well, because this is only radio allows a dude like me to actually do something that's, where you're able to pay your bills and shit like that. So thank God it worked.
That's kind of like all like artists, right? That if it wasn't for their eccentricity or their gift or whatever, what else would they be doing? Nothing.
Nothing.
Like what's
all or nothing.
What's Paul McCartney do if like he lost his hand and couldn't play guitar? Like, right?
He's dipping corn dogs at the state fair, It's all or nothing. It really is. And by the way, thank you for comparing me to Paul McCartney. I appreciate that.
I say that. Have you watched the Get Back documentary?
Well, see, Puma gets on my ass. The answer is no, but I've watched it about
Jim Bob. The answer is no.
No,
and he claims he's seen it because he's watched half a dozen YouTube clips of like
I've watched like 40
3 to 5 minute long in length, and says, "Oh, I get the general gist of it. I get it.
It's a 3-hour documentary.
They play it on top of a roof. I get it. It's good."
Let me say it's not necessarily an easy watch. You gotta have to commit to it, because you're really just watching the mundane genius, right? Like not every moment is awesome, but like there's a moment like where Paul McCartney's just riffing and ends up writing Get Back. Like it just like evolves out of the ether. And like, that's kind of when you watch them all, like he starts riffing, and after a while, George Harrison jumps in, and then Ringo's like doing something. And then finally John Lennon takes his tongue out of Yoko's mouth and walks over and sits there and picks up the guitar. And when he jumps in, like, it's just that creative genius like that. Those people aren't doing anything but creating, no matter what. Like, that's their life. They would be nothing if they couldn't create.
Yeah, you're practically the fifth Beatle, is what he's saying.
Yeah, that's exactly
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying.
I don't have any other skills. I mean, I'm pretty good at sex. I can fish a little bit. Because I am stubborn, I like to think that I'm somewhat athletic, only because I don't want to look poor. I don't have a lot of skills. I have this is it. Maybe I could have been a strip club manager, or an MC at a club.
No, your history with strip clubs would not. You would have lasted about 6 weeks.
Oh, because I would have fucked all the girls and
you
turned
would have
into
made
a cokehead.
some very illegal decisions.
Yeah, I would have. Oh, never mind. Well, it was either this or nothing. Thank God, man. Thank God. God Almighty. You know what I still should be doing?
When we did the baby oil wrestling.
How could I ever forget? Yeah. Has your wife seen that YouTube clip?
I don't. Is it on YouTube?
God, I hope so. I hope so.
It's not. They beat my ass. It was awful.
I made Bear get into a giant pool of baby oil with 2 topless strippers one night and fight them, and they beat the shit out of him.
FYI,
amazing.
Dressed in red tights and a luchador mask and nothing else.
Right, JB had he had a Mexican mask on, and then he got like oil all in his eyes and shit.
Baby oil on my face, I couldn't see, and they are just whipping my ass.
Yeah, you weren't turned on in the least, even though there were 2 pair of titties just all over you. They were beating you up, though.
I remember one of those poor girls came up and said that they weren't even dancers, they were waitresses, which is always just dancer junior because it's only about 3 weeks before they become full-fledged dancers.
Sure.
But she was saying that they were promised X amount of money to do it, and then the manager said, "Nah, tough." So they got paid nothing, and like I felt bad, and I think I bought them a bunch of drinks, and then one of those girls gave me her number.
Oh God!
Before she left for the night, and I kept it for like 2 weeks, but I had just started dating my wife now. And I was like,
does she know this story? And should you be doing
yeah. She knows.
Okay. Yeah. The redheaded one, I took her to the Rampage game.
I don't know if it was a redheaded one or not. May have been. She had a kid already.
No, the other one. The other one. The one, not the one that gave you her number, the other one.
Oh.
I took her to the Rampage game.
Using work to date. You have no lines in your life. There's no guardrails. You didn't know how to bowl, and there were no bumpers on the alley.
She didn't have a soul. Who cares? Well, we've established that Taylor's a big douche. That's fine. Fuck that. That's okay. I had a lot of fun with it. Whatever. You know what they say about D-bags?
Fun story because I'm gonna have to go put my kids to bed, which just shows how.
Oh yeah, my bad. Okay, yeah, we kept you way too long. My bad.
No, so when this is a story I don't think I've ever told you. So when my wife first met you, well, it was not my wife at the time. We just called her the Chica.
Yep.
Because I almost got her fired within 3 weeks of dating her because I went on some rant about her school and the principal called and I had to talk them off the ledge.
I remember that.
My wife was like, after she first met you, I was like, what'd you think? She goes, he has girlish hands.
Yeah.
That's her first and biggest impression of you was girly hands.
I have very clean hands. Yeah. You know when I met my second ex-wife, she also commented on my effeminate hands, right?
Yes.
And so, but then that's why I made up my mind that night. I'm going to show you other parts of me that are not effeminate to make up for the hands. Because women see these small hands and they think, oh, he can't please me. Told you I'm disproportionate, dude. It's weird. Very strange.
Which if you surf TikTok for any amount of time, the women on TikTok will tell you that that's not true, but
hand size?
Yeah. No,
for the most part it is.
There are women on TikTok that are trying to tell people that size does not matter. They're trying to correct.
To an extent.
They're trying to correct decades of establish scientific answers by
Oh,
going
they're
on
just
TikTok and
no,
trying
they're
to make
just
people
lonely
feel good
women.
about themselves.
It can be too small. It can be too big. But I think any woman would rather have too big than too small. No question about that. So, wow. And mine's just
Also,
right. I'm
as
Goldilocks.
as now the father of a daughter, I am terrified about TikTok.
Oh,
I
dude.
I
God, no.
see what have you seen
What is
what the
she?
women are doing on this app?
Yes. And your daughter is only what, 6 months old?
Yes.
Okay. God knows what we'll have when she's 16 or 26.
That's what I'm terrified about. That's what,
Yeah.
who knows what the social media is going to look like in 10 years, 16 years.
Right. Oh, dude. Hopefully the Russians would have taken over, or the Chinese, and they'll censor a lot of that crap, and our daughters will behave. That's what I'm hoping for. If we get taken over by the Chinese or the Russians.
I just hope the world ends before then. I don't have to deal with it.
No, I don't want the world to end. I would brush up on my Mandarin if I were you, especially being in the media. It's dangerous. Dangerous. Dude, would you tell your wife I said hello? And
I will.
Okay, and then tell her that, he's 47 now and he's changed a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when I saw the news, because Twitter is obviously the place you share that, I told her and she goes, I never liked her. So she's on Team Taylor there.
Well, look, man, I appreciate that.
I'm just telling you.
Okay. You know what you should do is let me come to your house and swim in your pool and buy y'all dinner and lots of beer soon.
Yeah, dude. I got a gazebo with an outdoor TV, the pool, waterfall.
Yeah. I've seen your backyard. I've seen the waterfall. It's incredible. It's outstanding. All right. You tell her I said hello. By the way, since we're just telling stories now, how's your sister?
She's about to give birth in 2 weeks.
Oh, beautiful. First kid?
First kid.
Oh,
gonna have a baby girl.
Very good.
Named Presley.
Naming the kid Presley? I've heard that name for a girl before. I've heard that. Yeah. My kids played softball with a Presley in Austin.
Her husband is a Comal County Sheriff's deputy named Raul.
Hell yeah.
And he's going to have a daughter named Presley.
Don't take that cryptic message, how's your sister doing, the wrong way. No, never. I swear to God, never.
You were going to bring up the fact that night when we had the baby oil wrestling, she ended up making out with a stripper in front of all of the Thunderdome hangers on just for entertainment purposes while I was not there.
Or the part where you went to the restroom and I had her sit on my lap just to shock you, to piss you off.
That one, yeah.
You remember that one? Okay, dude. God Almighty. No, never. She was way too young for me, but I was very fond of her. I thought that if there was a woman that could handle me, but then keep up with me, but keep me from going off the reservation, it was her personality type that would have, and I wouldn't have any exes,
She works for the greatness that is HEB. She's a higher up working in the main office where the butts work.
Okay. I went to her first wedding, by the way.
It's been 2 more. This one, I think.
Oh, really? This is 3.
We're on the 3rd marriage. She's got you beat.
Very good. Okay. Well, okay. There won't be a 3rd for me because I won't get married again. I do, for real, no bullshit. I do want to settle down at some point. Not now. It's not been long enough. And I need some time to be alone. I need that. I do. I'm not used to it. I don't like it. I hate sleeping alone, but I'm getting there. It's been a few months now, so I'm getting used to it. At some point, though, in the future, when I do decide to go, okay, all right, cool. I'm gonna go find me another. I'm gonna find me another. It's gonna be the right one. She's gonna be a Texas girl. She's not gonna want to go anywhere. We're gonna stay home. Of course, I got to get to Texas first. And when that day comes, then I'll settle down and I'll find that right one. But get married again? We can get married. We can declare ourselves married, but on paper, ain't doing that shit. Yeah. So, yeah. And you have to be at least 35, 43, 30 something. And you have to have children and not want any more. That's my prerequisites. That's it. And that's it. Be down to earth and want to have a simple life, and no drama. And have fun though, but without drama.
You gotta find someone who doesn't need you.
Yeah, I agree with that. But just wants me.
Yes,
and loves me for me.
Because if they
I don't
don't need you and they keep making that choice to come still be with you,
right.
it's you know what I'm saying? When they don't have to be with you and they don't need you,
Mhm.
to me it's easier to say, all right, here, cool, that's what we're doing.
Correct. Now, and also, you don't have to necessarily like. Here's the thing. And I'm not saying this is I'm not saying this is my situation or any of my past situations. I think as I've gotten older, and I think you found this early in life, which is so fucking great. You guys, if you're divorced today, I'm going to be pissed because I'm about to say something.
I'll be
You
dead
guys
already.
aren't getting no, no. You got so fortunate because you are the same dude that you've always been. You've not
Right.
changed any of your morals. You've not changed any of your ideologies. You've not changed who you are as a man. You've evolved. You have your career's gone where it's gone. You've become a father. You've just gotten better just through getting older and experienced. But we all need to find a person that doesn't ask us to be anybody other than who we are. Of
Yeah.
course you evolve. Of course you keep learning. Of course you keep spinning, you keep going forward, but you shouldn't have to change who you are as a person. And I think too many times we get in relationships where we're asked to become something else that we're not. And that's futile. You can't do that. So,
Like I don't know if you remember the relationship I was in just prior to meeting my
yes,
wife,
she had you
where
all over the place because she wanted you to be someone you were not.
those of you who follow the show know I am not a healthy man. I'm healthy, but I'm not a fit individual.
You
Working
look,
out and exercising are not things that I do.
but you could have been, I thought you'd have been way fatter by now, and you're not. You're fine.
No,
It's fine.
I'm actually down 83 pounds
I was going to
since
say,
that cancer diagnosis. So
yeah, how about that? How? Shout out to cancer. It made you lose a bunch of weight
yes,
and you look great. What's up,
yeah.
cancer?
So, well, I mean, the cancer didn't do it. It was, oh, by the way, you probably have diabetes and should stop drinking sugar and start
You'll
working
be dead.
out and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, but
uh, that
point
too.
taken.
But going back to who I was in 2008,
Yeah,
dating an
yeah,
ultra marathoner and a group exercise instructor and
yeah.
coach, like I was never gonna. I couldn't eat. Like I would leave her house from the weekend, and I would I would eat all the fast food I could possibly eat because I felt like I was starving myself to try and be this picture of fitness. I'm
Yeah.
trying, honey. I'm look at me. I'm eating Subway. Like I don't know.
Right. You thought that was the dream girl, the hot
Yes.
blonde who's this health nut and the instructor and all that. You thought this is what we're all supposed to be with. We all should strive to be with the blonde white girl who's got the great ass and she's the fitness instructor. Turns out you guys had nothing in common. She was batshit crazy. I learned 5 minutes hanging out with her. I knew, whoa, she's got my boy spinning. She's nuts. He can do so much better than her. And you did, bro. You did. Oh,
Thank you.
about that. All right,
Oh,
man. All right. I've not seen your oldest son since he was standing between the two of us at the Alamo Bowl, like we were
oh
gay
man.
husband lovers, and that was our child.
And
I've
you've
never
never
met
met
your
the middle
second,
one. No.
and clearly not met your baby daughter. So why don't we make up for that this summer at some point?
Let's do it.
That cool?
I
Okay.
tell you what, baby girl's first birthday is July. Having a big old pachanga.
Oh my God. Well, okay. Well, I got to plan my visit around the times I'm able to get home.
There you go.
But if I give you advance notice,
Oh yeah,
okay. Yeah. Well, let's go. How about mid-June? Mid-June?
that works.
I've got a big barbecue on June the 11th in San
Okay,
Antonio. Why don't we do it that week before? How about that?
cool. You know,
All right,
my
cool.
in-laws have moved in with us now. So,
Really?
oh yeah,
Oh, okay. It's because you got that big cartel-sized house. Probably don't even hear them. Your house is so big.
the house in Corpus is a little smaller than the cartel house in the valley.
Oh, that one was
But
ridiculous. Thank you. Another
yeah,
coffee. 5 more coffees. Thank you. Buy
they
us a
were
coffee,
on
subscribe and like, and hit the bell.
they were on the other side of the house, separated by I don't know 250 feet, something crazy with
Mm-hmm.
rock like stone walls and super thick. Like my walls were like 6 inches thick with styrofoam in between them to keep it
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't hear a
All
peep. More importantly,
No.
they didn't hear a peep.
Okay. Well, look, it'll just be me more than likely, and I'll get in. We'll eat. We'll drink. I'll meet your father-in-law, and I'll give your wife a hug, and I'll buy y'all dinner, and I'll be on my way. That's it.
It's
All right.
just you and the hood rat you met on the way down.
No, dude, we're not. No, see, Will, I'm not. Look, I'm not ruling that out. I'm not ruling on the trip to your house. I'm ruling that out. That won't happen on the way to your place. Yeah. We'll save the hood rats for the next day or the day after, or after I leave on the way back.
There you go.
I'm not gonna be man-horned. By the way, I need to chill, dude. I knew. I don't need to get right back to that old school Taylor. He needs to make appearances for balance, because that's just kind of who I am. But that it can't be every day. And that was the problem I had in those days. We've been talking about this hour. He was 2010 Taylor. He was there every day, all day. And that guy needs to be let out of the cage on occasion, but he doesn't need to be out all the time.
Yeah.
I've learned how to balance him.
You've entered the late 2010s, mid 2000s Gene Simmons era of your life.
Sure. Yeah. I can't be 25-year-old Gene Simmons. I've got to be 47-year-old Gene Simmons, who's still Gene Simmons, but
right. He only puts the costume on once or twice a year.
Yeah. Some nights he goes to bed at 10 p.m. alone and watches basketball and goes to sleep. That's what I'm balancing now. So anyway, look, man, again, I've kept you way too long. Nah. I appreciate it. It's good to see you. I could sit here for 4 or 5 hours with you, man. I forgot we were even talking to people. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it very much.
We had 69 viewers. I just want to point that out at one point.
I like it. And hopefully we'll get up over 1,000 by tomorrow when we get this done, because we're going to promote the shit out of it and tell everybody that you've pulled back the curtain probably a little further than I wanted you to there for a minute. But it's fine. It's cool. I would rather you go all the way than Dunder Mifflin. Okay.
Dunder Mifflin.
Oh, Mifflin.
You know what's The Office?
No. Oh, God, no. Look at that. There's your news director.
You want to see the cancer scars?
I do. Look at that. Oh, man. He says those are cancer scars. Right, I think they're bullet holes. He secretly got shot down in the valley. He just doesn't want to say. And he was paid by law enforcement and cartel to say that he had cancer surgery, when really you got shot by buckshot for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I think. It was. That's what it looks like. It was like buckshot. Yeah. All right, Holmes. I'm going to hang up on you. Thank you, man. Good to see you, homie. Take care. See you. Just kidding about your sister. I never did that. Okay, that's it. All right, boys. Golly, we talked for an hour. Wow, it's Thunderdome Live. I should reset. It's Thunderdome Live. You can shoot us a tip so we can put money back into merchandise at buymeacoffee.com/Thunderdome Live. You can subscribe to this channel. We're on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Mike Taylor Show. You can follow my Instagram page at Mike Taylor Show. You can follow Sam Freese. He's at Biggest Puma. You can follow DJLG at DJLG. Boys, sorry about that. I hadn't talked to him in so long, and I never get a chance to see him. This is me and you, Puma, in 4 or 5 years when you got fired. And I haven't seen you in a long time, and we'll hog up a TV show. How's basketball? You're watching basketball. How's it going?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm fine. Yeah, it's actually perfect. You ended the interview right as they went to halftime. So
Texas Tech by 20? Tech by 20?
Double digits. I think it ended 14, something like that.
I knew it. Texas Tech was going to run their ass off the floor. How about that? Anything y'all took from that? I don't know if Puma was listening. Before I read some of the chat.
Yeah, it was touching. There were some real emotional moments between y'all. It was nice. Yeah, it was nice.
I did have a crush on his sister. She was just way too young, and I was way too full throttle at the time. It wouldn't have worked. Now, though, of course, she's married to a cop and stuff. That was weird. I didn't know we were going to take a turn into the psychological aspects of the girls that I need to be with. It happens when you go through a transitional phase. Yeah. So, what else do you take from that? Anything?
Again,
like you'll never make any money running my show.
Some real emotional moments there. It was nice listening to y'all catch up. Yeah.
Look, he was really good. We had a lot of good chemistry, almost as good as yours and mine. I mean, ballpark, it was good. LG and I had good chemistry too, and I've been very fortunate. But the problem is that we bring guys in that are the right fit. And I know the whole time that they're not going to be here in 5 years, unless the station makes massive changes or whatever. We'll see how things go. I don't know how it's going to go the way in its current form. which is why we're trying to make this Love You Hard TV thing blow up so we ain't got to worry about it. We didn't have this site. That's the guy, by the way, that told me 10 years ago, you need to be on YouTube. If you do it, if you start now, you'll be a millionaire in 10 years. And I did fucking listen to him. I mailed it in. I just wanted to do my radio show and go get plastered and chase ass all over San Antonio. And it was stupid. I should have taken that serious, but we're making up for lost time now. LG, what'd you take out of any of that? What'd you take out of that, Lawrence?
Not much, really.
You saw that shit.
At least I made up some shit to try to pass. Like, I watched fucking basketball.
To be honest, it was nice to be able to sit back and produce the show and deal with the chat room and hit the websites and send out links. Right. It was actually nice to produce for once. So yeah,
I don't even know if that was
enjoyed your conversation without listening to it.
I don't know if that was great television or not, but I just haven't seen him in so long, and I think that, and this is the case with you and Sam too. I think, and that's part of the reason why I think our show works, is because I don't work with people that I don't like. I'm just not going to do it, and we genuinely dig each other. I think if we all three got fired today, I think we'd continue to be friends. Oh, I know we would, because I love you boys. I mean that, and I think the listeners know that too, which is why they dig us, and they that's why they like to see our bullshit.
How am I going to get fired though? By the way, I'm not employed.
Oh, that's right. You're not employed anymore. Well, I'm
fire
just
me
saying.
Twice.
Yeah, twice.
Although Lawrence was technically on the payroll for about 3 years after he had not done any work for us, though.
Yeah,
right? Weren't you still on the payroll?
Yeah, when I moved to Austin,
company email and everything.
Yeah, I gave Brian Gann my 2 weeks notice, and he was like, "No thanks. We'll just keep you on the roster in case we need you." And I was like, "All right." And they used me like once every 3 or 4 months. They would call me up for big broadcasts, like they'd have me board op the iHeartRadio country music festival every year.
Yeah,
because I guess they couldn't trust anyone else, so they brought in an outsider.
I mean, look at the other options. You think they're going to go with this guy or the guy who actually knows something about engineering and has some level of technical ability?
I forgot.
Well, we can't get fired from this show because we're all volunteers. So
that's right. We are volunteers. We don't make anything on it, and all the money you put on buymeacoffee.com goes straight back into the production that Lawrence has kicked ass on, and that's it. I didn't mean to get weird with JB, but I haven't seen him a lot. And he was there at the beginning. He was there when I didn't know if I was going to be employed in 6 months. He was just this dude who he let me mold him a little bit and show him the ways of how to do it. And he had the balls to go for it. That's the beauty of not making any money and living and not having anything to lose. He had the balls to do what we needed to do to make it. We were either
makes you a little freer.
Right. We were either going to lightning bolt to success or just fucking blow up and just die. But therein lies the beauty. It's like almost like a Tennyson poem. It may be. Hey, what? We are like a Tennyson poem.
Wade Phillips just bought us a coffee. Thank you, Yuck Yuck.
Oh, thanks, Yuck Yuck. Appreciate you, Yuck Yuck. He got mad. He actually blocked me on Twitter over the weekend, Orange. Did you see that? He did.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
No, we have balls, and I pride myself on that. And the guys that work with me have the balls, too. What did Tennyson say? It may be that the gulfs will wash us down, but it also may be that we will touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles, whom we knew. We're either going to land on the island, party with Achilles, or we're going to die in the ocean. One of the two. We're not going to be on the beach bullshitting. We're going to make it fucking work, or we're going to die. I like those. I like the scenarios.
The enemy.
Absolutely correct. Is this the part you want me to read some stuff on the chat?
Oh yeah.
LG?
Let's do the buy me a coffee and be sure to refresh that page as well.
Okay, let me refresh the page here. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna just read some shit. Here we go.
Yeah, we pretty sure we got a bunch today.
No, look, there's Wade Phillips. He did buy coffee. Thank you, Yuck Yuck. No offense, dude. I didn't mean for him to block me on Friday. I think we made fun of him on Friday, but we've been making fun of him for years. I think he happened to be by the channel and heard it and blocked my ass after all these years. So John, what? Friday he damn sure did, because he had blocked me on Twitter before Puma loaded the podcast. So he was listening Friday, heard me do the fake him. and blocked me on Twitter, man. I felt bad about that.
He's got a new
John.
one, so you may need to refresh again.
Oh, okay, son of a bit. Watch it in my truck in old Mississippi. Keep the episodes coming. Absolutely, John. Thank you. He's in Mississippi, the 50th state, or is Louisiana the 50th state? I think it goes back and forth. What's the dumbest state in the country? Mississippi or Louisiana? It's one of those two for
Mississippi
sure.
is always at the bottom of the education rankings.
Amanda's in here. Fuck you, Puma. Midwesterners rule. Love that. Love that. He hates the Midwest part of the country.
Yeah, prove it to me, Amanda. Yeah.
Oh, challenge. Let's see. Punch the bear. Have a coffee on me. MFs. Everybody listening should donate. And LG's Thunderbone once again is in here buying us 2 coffees. Thank you, LG's Thunderbone.
LG's Thunderbone representing.
You guys look like a fucking Brady Bunch Zoom call on weed. You know, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'd take that.
I
as a
hate this
compliment.
show. I hate it hard. I can't quit you guys. Oh, how about that? So again, love and hate are both your friends. Indifference is the enemy. Indifference is the enemy. Andrew, nothing better than Yuck doing the Come On Now Spurs challenge. Love you hard. DC Navy 2 kick ass. I don't want to hear excuses. I just want to see results. You bet your ass. Travis is in here. I got divorced, so F it. I support all things Taylor and Thunderdome. How do I get a hat? I want the black hat. Well, how does he get a hat, Lawrence? He goes to Love You Hard TV and he clicks on merchandise is how he gets a hat.
Yep. LoveYouHardTV.com. Click on the merch tab, and there's all kinds of crap up there.
Yes.
And speaking of which, while we're on that subject, to our annual members of BuyMeACoffee.com, merch is on the way. Should be hitting your doorsteps this week. Do not buy a Thunderdome Fiesta shirt because that is what is headed towards you right now.
Hell yeah. I saw one on the table you have in here. They actually look fucking sharp, too.
There you go.
They're nice.
It's not like it's slap dick just thrown together. It looks fucking good.
So they should be They should be arriving this week, if not this week, early next week. So be patient.
Cool. Taylor, are you wearing a new shirt tonight? That looks old. That looks new. What do you have, 5 shirts now? Yeah, this is a new shirt, actually. No, I told Puma this on the radio show the other day. I'm gonna stand up. I've decided to start putting more T-shirts in my closet, right? Because there for a while, Lawrence, I was down to 6 T-shirts total. Because
Is that why you wore my T-shirt that when you were here last time?
I didn't have one. I brought one with me, and it was dirty. And I stole a T-shirt from Lawrence's closet because it looked good with my sport coat that I wore to the box.
Oh yeah, the bomb.
My Mario Brothers shirt.
Yeah.
I wore that because it looked good with that jacket I had on. So I'm a minimalist, and so for years I still am a minimalist. I need to get more clothing. I have 1 pair of sneakers, 1 pair of just deck get around shoes. I got 1 pair of boots. I got 1 pair of flip flops. That's it. I have 2 pair of chinos. I have 1 pair of jeans. That's it. I got to get more. And I always had a bit where I would never keep more than 10 T-shirts at a time. And when one would get old or I would get a new T-shirt that I liked, I would get rid of one so I would never go over 10. I've decided to change that. I probably have about 20-something T-shirts now. Who would be proud of me? I know.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
What do you have, 120? 300?
Maybe not that many, but I do like it now that I know you own more T-shirts than I own jeans. That makes me happy.
Cool.
Yeah, my whole wardrobe is T-shirts.
Yeah, I've seen you've got 2 fucking closets full too. You've got your master bedroom and the guest bedroom where I sleep.
Yeah, well, the master bedroom's basically empty. The guest bedroom is basically my laundry room because it's next to the laundry room. So the guest bedroom has become my closet.
Yeah, okay.
So because I'm lazy, I don't want to walk the laundry all the way back to the master.
Right.
So I'll just throw it in the guest
Bomb
closet.
T-shirt I got out of your guest room closet. This T-shirt here, I'm glad someone pointed it out. This dude is my son's skateboard instructor. This is Spencer Fujimoto. He is a legendary New York City street skater who became a legend back in the 80s and early 90s and actually just got featured in a book full of old school pictures of skaters back in New York.
The 10th anniversary of that book. So
Correct. That's right.
It's a re-release.
Correct. He was featured 10 years ago when the book was published, and they just re-released it. And the guy, the head photographer, I just met him a couple of days ago. He lives in New York, but he flew to Hawaii to hang out with Spencer. And they were passing these T-shirts out. The name of the book is Full Bleed, right? And this is actually an old picture of my kid's skate instructor, who tentatively, I want to put the word tentatively out there, is tentatively scheduled to be our guest next week. Y'all want to talk 80s and 90s New York City skate scene, and want to talk about that time that almost got murdered at the Chinatown skate park, the very first time I ever met Spencer? Y'all want to do that story too next week? We can.
Yes.
That sounds awesome.
Absolutely. I need the non-radio version of that story.
Right. Have you heard this story, LG? Where I got threatened by like drug dealing dudes in Chinatown at the skate park the first time I met Spencer Fujimoto?
No, you didn't tell me that story.
I'll tell it again. I'll give you the 20-second version on. We'll do it. We'll get into this next week.
All right.
My kid, we found him a skate coach, had no idea it was some fucking legend. Show up, and we're at this seedy ass skate park in Chinatown, and there were some dudes there dealing weed, and I was videotaping my son because I like my son and I want to videotape him skate. They thought I was 5-0, or they thought I was just some rival dealer, and I was rolling on them dealing weed. I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking rolling on you. Go fuck yourself. I'm rolling on my kid. You see that little kid over there? That's my son. Go fuck yourself. Don't go. I don't give. Who gives two shits about rolling on your bullshit?
Yeah, keep selling your dime bag of swag.
I don't know shit. Go fuck yourself, dude. Yeah, go sell your fucking shitty skunk weed, and I'm not worried about you, dude. Anyway, we'll tell this story again next week, and I almost got into I challenged drug dealers to a fight right there on the skate park.
That always ends well. Always.
Well, it did for me. Their asses stood down, didn't they? Mm-hmm. And Spencer came over there and got in the middle of it, and we've never been back. Only once. The chemistry between you guys during the first years of STSA was incredible. Destructive, sure, but radio gold. Yeah, that thing with Jim Bob and I was not going to last for years and years. He was disgruntled. He wasn't making any money. They were always on his ass about stuff. I was partying like a motherfucker every day. That's one of those bands that you always say you dig, Puma, the ones that we were never going to have 10 hit records, but we were going to have a really good first one, and it was all going to go to shit after that.
Give me 2 or 3 solid albums and then burn out. I'm good
all
on
right.
that.
What do you think you and I are on? Album 2?
With our 2-year anniversary this week, I'd say we're probably halfway through writing the second album.
Okay, all right. So we got another album and a half in us, probably, before something's got to give.
I said 2 or 3 great albums. We'll see if we can make it to the third.
Right. You can always come back to Texas and use that teaching degree. Some districts are short over 100 teachers. That's exactly what I was just kind of kidding about not having any other skills. I probably would go teach history and science on a high school level. And I take that very serious, by the way. That's what I'm going to do. I've always assumed that me getting terminated from this business was inevitable. But I think I'm to the point now where, and this is going to sound real cocky. If iHeart please don't test me on this, iHeart.
Yeah, hold on.
I don't think I'd be on the street very long. I think I'd get picked up. I've always wondered what sort of interest there would be in free agent Taylor. Fuck, maybe none. But I'm too scared to find that out. I've threatened it. I've had hard negotiations in the past, but I'll tell you this right now, and this is going to, now I'm going to make up for what I just said. I love this company, and I don't want to get fired because this company's been good to me. I'm a spoiled brat. You know how many dudes, hey, I'm going to move to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I demand to stay on the air. Okay, we'll just move you to the mornings to accommodate it. Okay, cool. Hey, I'm going to move to Hawaii. So, yeah, I'm going to need you to accommodate. Okay, we'll just move you to the afternoons to accommodate you. These guys at iHeartRadio, especially the current group of guys that I work for now, I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Because they make money. They have to make. I know they make money, or they wouldn't let me do all this shit. They have worked with me, through my marriages. They have worked with me through, me becoming a dad again. They have worked with me and my son, and I have a transgender son, for those that don't know. And we decided to move to a state where we had some laws that would protect us. And I do want to go home, but it's got to be the right time and all this kind of thing. At some point I will come home, but in the temporary time being, we made the decision to come out here because we needed to have some laws that were on the books that would protect us from that. And iHeart just didn't care. They just rolled with it. They moved my shift. They let me stay employed, and thank God that they did that, and I appreciate that. So I don't ever want to be a free agent. I want to retire with iHeart. I do. I want to keep doing our radio show. There for a while I was done. I wanted a new challenge, but we've gotten over the hump now where I want to retire doing the radio show. Now, I wouldn't mind if our TV show blows up. If I was forced to quit the radio show because I made too much money and there was too much demand for the TV show we're doing now, that's cool. This new venture, which is why I'm so excited to be working with you boys doing this, I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know where it ends, but I hope it blows up. I think maybe it will do something pretty decent. I think we can make some money in the future. Not now, but I think in the future we have a chance to make a few bucks.
Jesus Christ.
Okay,
Cold.
whoever put that name
Cold.
up there, that's bullshit. Whoever just put that name. Don't do that, y'all. That ain't cool. Lawrence, obviously they can put whatever name they want to.
Obviously.
Yes.
Come on,
yeah,
man.
they can.
That ain't cool, man. Y'all don't do that. That's the mother of my kids.
It's a
I ain't
low
gonna
blow.
have that.
It's too
That's
soon.
Bullshit. Yeah, way too soon. Don't do that shit. It's too soon. It will never not be too soon. Don't do that. That ain't cool. I appreciate your attempt at humor, but don't do that. Anyway, what was I saying? I want this show to blow up. I want to keep the radio show. I want to keep doing this. This show here has provided the new challenge that I've been wanting. I needed a shot in the arm. I needed something different to keep the gears going, And I'm getting to do this now with you guys and do the radio show, which is fucking double the fun. So it's great. I want to keep the radio show pays the bills. This show's for fun, but it's forced me to do something different. That's it. Here we go, getting sappy again. Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it, man, very much. I do.
Yeah, man.
So
thanks for doing this, man. I know you
do
a lot of other things with your time, and we're none of us are getting paid. We're all volunteering on our off hours to do this. And
Coach Joe bought me a coffee. That's the funny. That's the funny. Bring more of that. I'm sorry, Lawrence.
No, I'm good.
My butt.
I'm good.
No, I want us. Look, here's the thing. And Jim Bob comes on and we get nostalgic and talk about our chemistry and stuff. And he would agree. We've talked about this. Our show has never sounded better than it has sounded in the last year or so.
I'll agree. Yes.
Yeah, it's never sounded better. And the three of us have great chemistry too in the roles we play, which is why I think this thing we're doing here on Love You Hard TV, I think it's got a chance to do something. I'm not expecting to have 50 million. We're not going to be dude perfect. We're going to have 50 million subscribers. But if we can use some of this to, like, I don't know, take our wife to a movie or something on occasion, or we go on a vacation or
pay the electricity bill before it gets cut off. Or
something. Yeah,
maybe,
that's all.
Have some repairs done to a vehicle, or maybe, I can think of a few things.
Maybe you can buy a new futon instead of getting one off Craigslist.
There you go.
Right. I need to tell that story on the air tomorrow because I didn't get to that futon story. Or I could save it for next week on our show. We've been on the air an hour and a half.
Flores talk. Yeah, we're down to 17 fucking minutes left in the game. We got to wrap it up.
Is Tech still kicking their ass?
It's an 11-point game.
Okay. Well, I got to go let my dog out, and I've agreed to go have a blind date tonight. With a man.
No one told me.
A Thunderdomer there's a Thunderdomer, this dude named Ray, he emails me all the time. his job sent him to the hellscape for a couple of weeks, and he's going to buy me a
mentioned
beer.
it. Yeah. Where are y'all going?
Yeah.
You going to the Whiskey Dick?
No, we're not going to the Whiskey Dick. There's no place in town called the Whiskey Dick.
That's where you
It's
said
called-
you did the karaoke. You,
called-
you sang for
No,
all the
it's
women
called-
at Whiskey Dick.
No,
Yeah.
no.
What am I
sang
missing
for all
there?
I sang for all the women at Whiskey Dicks.
Oh,
D-I-F.
minor difference.
Not
Minor.
the Whiskey Dick.
You had Whiskey Dick and sang at Whiskey Dicks.
I didn't have Whiskey Dick.
Ah.
No. I had that night. I found that perfect Goldilocks zone, as you'd like to say,
I love it. It's one of my
where I could have
favorites.
performed. I could have performed for
Put it
quite a
on my
while.
card.
No. So that was a good night. No, we're going to go to a place called Giovanni Pastrami. It's a little Italian joint near where he's staying. Now,
You weren't lying about going on
What?
a date, were you?
what?
I thought maybe you were gonna meet at the bar, have some beers.
Yeah,
you're
no,
gonna go
you're
sit
going,
down and
you're
have.
going to Giovanni Pastrami. Like, yeah, let me know how that date goes. Hopefully
They have
it's
a
new
bar
beginning. Yeah.
We'll probably go to the bar. I'm fucking hungry. I need dinner. We'll probably go to the bar after that. No, I'm doing some recon. I told you I'm going to do radio in Honolulu on Fox Sports 990 in a couple of weeks on Super Bowl Sunday at this place. And so I chose that place because it's down the street from where he's staying, and I can do some recon and know what the place looks like
Synergy.
before I show up. So I'm comfortable the day that I show up and kick ass because I want the Hawaiian stations here to. I want them to. I want them to put me on their air at some point. That'd be great. I think I could do it. So yeah, that's it.
I would love to hear you talk high school boys volleyball. What's going to
Football.
drive the ratings? What's going to drive the ratings on that island? Like, you're going to have to talk some amateur volleyball without
High school
without
football.
question.
Rainbow Warriors, high school football, and the NFL.
Hey,
That's it.
I mean, I know I want to watch the game, but how about that Timmy Chang hire, huh?
The most prolific passer in the history of this school, outside of
Pretty
your boy
solid.
who couldn't get off the dope and killed himself
Okay,
last year.
all right, I'm done. We're done.
There you go. I knew you.
Gotta watch the game. Gotta watch the game.
Yeah. Timmy Chang's a good hire. Local guy. He won't leave. He's passionate. He's family.
Colt
wants to
Brennan
make
was a
it
role
work.
model.
Yes, he was. I was just joking. Come on. Has it not been long enough? Poor Puma.
Yeah, you're going to do great on Hellscape Radio. Crack your Colt Brennan jokes, and I'm sure you'll last for another 13 years down there.
Hey, that's why I lasted 15 years almost in San Antonio and Austin, because I
That's
would keep
true.
it fucking real, bitches.
true.
Well, keep it real. Some bitch shouldn't have been doing dope.
And
he
if
got
was
killed
still
the week
around
after he got out of
today, he
rehab.
would block you on Twitter.
That's fine. That's fine. Fuck you. Fuck Wade Phillips. Thank you, Bear. Thank you to Puma. Thank you to DJ LG. I got to go. My dog's probably shit on the carpet by now. I got to let her out. Love us, like us, support us, subscribe to us, hit the bell button. If you're watching this after we recorded it live, if you're watching this in 2 weeks from now, subscribe to this bad boy. Keep us employed. You like our chemistry? Then keep us doing these shows, because as long as you're watching them and subscribing to the channel, we're going to keep doing these things. All right, love y'all hard. We'll see you next week. Have a safe trip, DJ LG. Don't catch an STD. I want to dance like Ellen DeGeneres.